Fellas, there are so many Ninjago sets that have been released, each one going through the rigorous design process at LEGO and going through so many iterations over its lifespan. But this does leave the question, what happens to Ninjago sets that didn't reach the shelves? And whether or not there's actually any way to buy these sets, which may contain secrets that we never learned about. Well, today I'm going to try and find out, so it was time to get searching. One of the things that I quickly realised was that there wasn't a whole lot of information out there about cancelled Ninjago sets. The pieces of information I did come across were mainly concept art and unreleased sets from Ninjago's earlier years. But there were several images in particular that really stuck out to me. For example, this temple build thing here, posted by a user named Ninjago, who is a highly trusted source of information in the Ninjago community because he has links with the designers and the creators of the theme itself. So if anybody was going to be able to help me, it was him. It turns out that this set is called the Monastery of Ice, and these images were sent to him from the LEGO Ninjago team themselves for a Ninjago documentary that he was making. Now, whilst the set looks awesome, it didn't fit the story narrative for Season 8 of Ninjago and thus was cancelled. It was set to release on the 1st of December 2017 for $80, which meant that it actually had its own Amazon page. This listed the dimensions, set number, and a description of the set, which says it includes Legends of Chima, Ninjago, Bionicle, Mindstorms, Mixels, and the LEGO group themselves. What a steal. But other than that, what this set was supposed to represent, what the season was going to be about, is completely unknown. But my plan is to get this set, build it, and see what I can find out. And whilst LEGO never officially released the instructions for this set, Ninja tipped me off that a user by the name of Sakoda was able to reverse engineer the images and produce a model with near perfect accuracy, which is insane. There's so much detail in this set and just like hidden Easter eggs everywhere, and I absolutely love the snow ice aesthetic. So all that I've got to do now is order the parts. You can upload the parts list to a website called Bricklink, where you're actually able to buy the pieces required to build that set. The only slight issue is that it turned out far more expensive than I'd anticipated, so I had an idea. So under here is where I keep all of my LEGO, and basically my plan is essentially to go through all of my boxes of LEGO and see what parts I actually have from the part list to try and save a bit of money, because there's quite a lot of money there, you know? After sorting through boxes for around 15 minutes, I was able to pull out quite a substantial amount of parts, which in turn took the price down quite a lot. So with the instructions downloaded and the parts ready, it was time to order them. After a day or two of waiting, all of the pieces had arrived at my door. After briefly going through each package, it looked as though everything was present, including a Mustake minifigure, who I wanted to, you know, replace the villager that was in the original images, and also because I really wanted her. Now, the issue with actually building a set like this is the fact that none of the parts are in bags, and there's like over 400 of them, so I've got to sort them myself. So I decided to grab a tray and sorted all of the parts by colour, and after a painful 30 minutes, I was done. I put the instructions up on my screen and got to building. This process took me around 2 hours or so and was pretty smooth sailing. Alright, so I'm about halfway through the build and currently it's actually looking like ridiculously awesome. There's a couple miscoloured parts that are either just yellowed from like the sun and other parts that are just the complete, you know, wrong colour, which is slightly annoying. And after another 30 minutes or so of building, I was done. A slight issue is that I may have a bit overcompensated with the parts that I bought. So here are all the spare parts, and as you can see, this is 50 of one piece. There are actually only 2 of this piece in the set. And then I also bought about 100 of these cylindrical pieces, when in actuality, in the set, there's only 1 of them. This is a slight bit more. But honestly, the end result was just way more than worth it. Alright, so here's the finished build, and as you can see, it's very, very cool. We've got some nice little stairs up here, but don't cross them because you will fall to your death. Same thing goes for down here. You try and enter here, you're gonna get crushed by this. You're dead. And 3 entire floors of just awesome details. Like literally every floor there's just something very interesting. This set just looks so nice, honestly, and I'm very happy I have it. Now with this set completely built, it was time to see what I could find out and see what secrets it may have been hiding about Season 8. And believe me when I tell you, there's quite a few. On the first floor here, we obviously have some sort of scripts or scribes. The build itself draws comparisons to the architecture from the Cloud Kingdom. When I did a reverse image search, a link to the Ninjago fan wiki came up, where this this build is listed under Cloud City concept art, which would tell us that these scrolls here are merely the ones that the monks were writing on in Season 5. But on the second floor is where things begin to get really weird. So by this point in Season 8, all of the golden weapons have been destroyed years ago, and all of the ninja had had their elemental powers for quite some time now. However, the Sword of Fire and the Scythe of Quakes still make an appearance in this set, alongside this sort of weird wheel thing with all of the elements, which is really weird. So after conducting 2 more reverse image searches, I managed to find a small section on the Ninjago wiki titled Unproduced Content. This section is only a few paragraphs long, but contains a single line about the set where it links to a tweet with only 2 likes from the design manager of Ninjago, who states, "This set was never integrated into any written story. The intention with the set was a new location that housed a sort of scientist. He would work with combining elemental powers in his lab. The build would have many traps, but also a basement full of old lab equipment, old scrolls, etc." And I must say, this explanation is so much cooler than anyone that I had. Especially the skeleton build here, which really makes me question just what sorts of experiments were happening. Considering the scientist wanted to combine the powers, it would make sense to me if this scientist was either Skylar or Skylar's mum, because that family has a bit of a history with stealing people's powers and whatnot. Also, the question must be asked, how the hell did they get the golden weapons back? And why just experiment with the 6 main elements? Why not like smoke, wind, ash, or sound? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Although, I would assume that it was this fella here who was the scientist, because he doesn't seem all too happy about the ninja being there, hence the several lethal weapons on the build. I do think that it's a real shame that we never got to see some variants of the ninjas' uniforms, because this kind of thing is so awesome. As well, the set overall is not just stunning to look at, but also has so many great details and play features. This set, coupled with the lore behind it, would have just been so phenomenal to get. And whilst it's not like I'd ever play with my Lego and act the scenes out, because I am the epitome of masculinity, if you did want to get this set, I've left a video from Ninja Whip as well as Sakoda's instructions in the description, because honestly, this video would not have been possible without them. So please like and subscribe, because this was £80.